What's up, fandom? So I'm finally back after a long delay. Sorry about that. I've been searching for a job. I actually got a part-time job at REI, paying the bills somehow. YouTube doesn't quite do that yet. But hopefully I'll be back to making videos more consistently, start doing some of those things I was talking about, like the Harry Potter read-through and all that. But if you can't tell by what's around me right now, it's time for the first Marvel video of the channel. I'm super excited. It really took a long time to think about what I wanted to do for this video. Marvel's probably my favorite fandom out of everything. And I decided, I've seen every Marvel movie basically frame by frame. I could go through, do Easter eggs, give speculation, but, a lot of that's already out there. So I figured with this video, I would just talk about some comics that I would like to see adapted into Marvel properties moving forward, and talk about some team-ups I'd like to see in the future. If you don't know about comic books, they're this weird, wonderful thing where basically anything goes, and pretty much everything is gone at some point. Like here in my hand, we have this NFL Marvel mashup. Complete ad for the NFL, but, this happened. This is Marvel canon. That's a thing. Things get weird. You have Spider-Man with Agent Venom here floating in space with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Just all types of strange things happen in comic books. And, I think one of the strangest things ever happened in Marvel Comics is the time that, Punisher decided to become black to fight crime with Luke Cage. Yeah, no, this is a thing. That's real life. I'm not making that up. So what happened was Frank Castle got his face torn up when he was in prison. He got out, found a doctor, said he'd fix that face right up. And he did, but he made the Punisher black. So the Punisher, he gets out of jail. He's black now. Literally the first thing that happens is he gets beaten by the police. I'm not here to discuss all of that. But I do think that some of the stuff that happens in this comic book, or in this series, would be pretty cool to see, translated into a Disney Plus show. They're probably not going to have Jon Bernthal in blackface, unfortunately. But there's a lot of really good questions that we could get answered, from this. If Frank Castle's black, does he get an N-word card? Can Luke Cage give him one? We all know Luke Cage already gave his to Danny Rand, so I think that's out of the question. But seriously, though, it's kind of cool to see the philosophical differences between Frank Castle and Luke Cage. We all know Frank's the ruthless killer. Luke Cage wants to see some more redemption. So even though it's just completely outlandish, and I have a really good feeling you'll never see the Punisher black, or at least turn black, there's some cool things that could be explored from this comic series. Another thing I'd like to see adapted is this team up right here. You have Spider-Man, Venom, and Ghost Rider. I know Venom, that's a tricky situation right now. It's still yet to be determined if he'll ever be in the MCU. But Ghost Rider is already a property that they have. They've made Ghost Rider things before. So they could kind of adapt some things we see in this Spirits of Venom into the big screen, small screen. Probably have to be big screen since it is Spider-Man. The Disney-Sony relationship probably wouldn't allow for him to be on TV as easily as it would be on the big screen. But what's really cool about this comic is Spider-Man, he's, battling with the Demi-Goblin, and Johnny Blaze and Ghost Rider, they're separated at this point. Don't know how, just one of those comic book things, but they team up, they run into Venom, they start fighting crime. I think that would be cool to see, some Spider-Man and Ghost Rider. Also, you have Moon Knight here. He's teaming up with the Punisher. Moon Knight's going to be getting that series soon on Disney Plus. It'd be really cool to see some team-ups in that realm. Maybe some Moon Knight Punisher, Moon Knight Daredevil. Both characters that have, previously been explored in the MCU. And the fans have definitely expressed interest in bringing them back. So I think that'd be interesting to see. And two more comic arcs that really stand out to me that I like a lot and would like to see translated into the MCU. The first version of Secret Wars, not the more recent run, but the run from back in the 80s, where the heroes, they end up on Battle World. This is the first time we see Spider-Man in his black suit. The symbiote gets introduced. It's just a really fun story, and I think they're kind of working towards that right now. I think the MCU version's probably going to pull a little bit more from the more recent version of Secret Wars, but I would definitely like to see some elements from that first Secret Wars, creep its way in there for the big screen. And also, it's not a comic book, but the Spider-Man PS4 video game, I'd love to see that get adapted for the MCU. I think that really just captures the essence of Spider-Man, what it means to be Peter Parker and Spider-Man, creating your own villains, having to deal with that, balancing work, life, trying to keep a girlfriend, just everything that makes Peter Parker so relatable. The everyman superhero, I think it's captured very well in the Spider-Man PS4 game. So I think there's a lot of material for Marvel to explore, and since they're willing to get more creative with what they're doing on screen, I think it'd be cool to see kind of these more comic book element things get translated to the big screen. Like in Thor Ragnarok, Planet Hulk was a huge influence on that film, and even though they didn't copy Planet Hulk verbatim like it happened in the comic, there was enough in there to where they're looking at Planet Hulk, but it's not just Planet Hulk for a movie. So, what are some comic books or Marvel properties you would like to see adapted for the MCU? Drop that in the comment section below. Thank you for watching as always. Like, share, subscribe, and stay nerdy.